Well, GM, G to the M. Great morning, my friends. D-Gens, Diamond Hand fam, Fortune Fuel crew, super soldiers, one percenters, pioneers, pivoters, pursuers, builders, brothers and sisters, hermanos y hermanas, mamas y papas, anyone I may have left out and anyone in between, welcome back and welcome into the best way to start your day. It's time to get fired up at Forge and Fuel, baby. I am your humbled, honored, and clearly always hyped host, Colton Capp Swirl, and I can't thank you enough for choosing to stop by, hang out with me and my guys, and dive into some motivational and inspirational rabbit holes unlike any other. Now, my friends, we got one hell of a show on tap for you here this morning on this terrific Tuesday. It is November the 19th, 2024. If you haven't checked your calendar yet this morning, and I hope you're ready to wake up like never before, because we got more motivation, more inspiration, and more good vibrations coming your way over the next hour and a half than you're going to know what to do with, baby. But before we can catch a flow, before we can get this show going, rocking, and rolling, the proverbial plane of change soaring through the skies of success, I must humbly ask you to do a few things. If you haven't already, And maybe you could find it in that big old heart of yours to do so. Maybe you could take a quick second to smash that subscribe button on whatever platform you're currently adjusting the Forge and Fuel podcast on. If you're watching on YouTube, you might as well hit that notification bell over there as well, so you never miss the start of a live show or any additional content dropping here on the channel. And if you're enjoying this show here on the YouTube, you might as well hit that like button right there too, one time for the one time. If you're watching on the Rumble, if that is your platform of choice, make sure you hit a subscribe, a notification, and a like button there so you never miss any content on the Rumble. And if you're watching on X, maybe you enjoy it over there on that platform, hit a like, hit a repost, hell, even hit a quote post. Let the people know on the X timeline why you're tuned in live in prime time to Forge and Fuel this morning. Also, if you're listening to this podcast on your favorite podcast directory like Apple, Spotify, or maybe even Amazon Music, maybe you could give us a follow or leave us a 5-star rating, or maybe just smash the hell out of whatever buttons are on your screen right there, because it only helps us to keep growing and flowing on all those platforms too, baby. As for all of you beautiful human beings that have already smashed all those buttons and got that algo going and flowing for us this morning, we can't thank you enough. But if you're still questioning it, you're still wondering why you should hit those buttons, well, maybe this show makes you laugh. Maybe this show makes you cry. Maybe this show makes you think. Maybe this show makes you go, I never thought of it that way before. That's some pretty good perspective. Well, if it does, be a friend, tell a friend, don't be a host, share the show, let somebody know, and we will proceed with this morning's flow.
Don't be rude.
There it was. My friends, I've said us, I've said we, I've said fellas a few times, and you've only seen me on your screen. However, you have heard the soundboard in the background. That must mean the man with the plan is in the production studios back there somewhere. DEEZY. Shout out Derek Snow, our Mr. Producer of this fine morning program, rocking and rolling with us every damn day. Wow! And also, we wouldn't be able to do it without another man. Say me and Deez, we got another show we do. We rock and roll, but this show here, we need this guy because he brings perspective and insights and high-level thoughts that I ain't ever heard from nobody else. He is the fire to my ice, the yin to my yang, the heads to my tails, the forge to my fuel. My friends, please welcome in the co-host of this fine morning program, the owner of the Grandpa Ape Country Club. A professional DJ with a wide-ranging musical catalog. Honestly, not a single song in there that won't make you move and groove, shake, and choose to get your body shimmying, making him a human iPod.
What?
A purveyor of positive vibes.
What?
A curator of high-level energies.
What?
A certified PLP pusher.
What?
The jet plane flying.
What?
McLaren driving.
What?
Rolex rocking.
What?
Jesus peace dang.
What?
Looking pretty dapper this morning.
What?
President of St. Louis, Missouri.
What?
Sweet James Jones himself.
What?
The one and only. With an emphasis on the one.
What?
He's DJ Swirl One.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at that.
Oh, look
yeah.
at that button up. Little plaid for a
You
damn.
guys are hiding.
Over
What are you
there,
talking
huh?
about?
Look at
Hey,
you. Look at
You
you.
gotta wear some plaid so when you're doing the meeting, they get all caught up in your shirt and not what you're showing them. Just
Pro tip. Pro tip.
stop wearing the plain white tees. They don't capture. People will be looking at your shirt. They're like, that's a pretty nice shirt. And they're not paying attention to the presentation. So I'm just telling you, just a little tip there. So, hey, appreciate everybody being here. Check this out. It's Taco Tuesday. And what are you feeding yourself? Tacos? I don't know, but you might be able to get some good old soul food in here, baby. I'm looking forward to it. I brought my water. You guys got some of that. Hopefully you have some of that. I also, the Marriott, brought me a nice little Americano. This was, slightly iced, very, very, as you can see, JB. Yep, just black. That's
right. Is that a Christmas cup?
Right here. Is it what?
Is that already got Christmas shit on it?
Oh, yeah, no, it's like a Bucks cup, bro.
Good morning,
Vietnam.
Hey, if they're going to give me a free coffee, I'm going to take it. That's all there is to it. I was up early. I was like, what time is it? is my alarm going off yet? Oh, 2 minutes later, beep. I was like, oh, I guess I'm up. So, hey, if I can do it, you can do it. Do me a favor, though. Send a text message out real quick. Grab that little device right there that you've been stuck to since you woke up this morning and do something positive with it. Send out some information that says, hey, you know what? You might want to show up and see these guys because they'll get you started on the right foot. So, Forge and Fuel, I'm ready. Taco Tuesday. Let's do this, man.
Let's do this, Swirl One.
Your phone ringing. Your phone ringing.
Whose phone's ringing? Somebody put your phone on silent. We got a show to do. Whose phone was that? Who's to say? Who's to know? Shout out to you, Swirl One. Great to see you this morning, man. They got you a little glass cup there for your water, right?
Because they gave me a really big one.
Oh,
I have a lot of room right here.
Be careful.
So I afford it. You know,
be careful now, man. Don't be.
If you could see where I'm at in this room, I'm like where they make the coffee. There's like a little nook right here. So there's a wall right here. So when I tell you I make the best out of every situation I go to, this was a better background than over there looking at the bed. So I was like, hey, you know what? I like this better. Let's do this.
Who's to say, who's to know? And speaking of making the best out of any situation, you know, sometimes you can have the best intentions and still the wrong thing happens. And my friends, you know how we start around this show with a little chuckle, a little funny ha-ha, a little regular old knee slapper, if you will. And this morning, we get visited by a young lady who was just simply trying to clean out her refrigerator. You know, she had some old edibles in there. She was trying to get out of the game, was trying to clean up her life. And unfortunately, old Jinxie had other plans. Hit us with those trash.
Why I cleaned out the refrigerator today, threw away all the old food and shit like that, threw away some of my fucking edibles. Guess whose bitch ass got into the trash and ate them? Can you tell who?
Oh, it gets better. It gets better.
Can you tell?
Look at her.
Jinx. Jinx ate them.
It gets better. Look how fucking hot she is. Wait, it gets better. Wait. Oh, shit.
Like, she never digs in the trash. Never has the trash and found an edible that I threw away. Called the doctors. The edible was pretty, you know, there was no chocolate in it or anything. So she threw up a little bit. I said, food and water. She passed through. But
I just love how
I'm just a little worried
oh, that dog is so
because this bitch is high.
You look like me on Saturday.
Why would you do this? They said food and water. She passed through.
So fucking high, man.
But I'm just a little worried because this bitch is high. And why would you do this, Jinx? For real. Oh my god.
Buddy, I would put on some Cheech and Chong and me and that dog would have some popcorn for the rest of the evening, bro. I'm telling you right now.
Hey, are we moving that? I think we're
stopped.
Oh, shit.
That poor dog, dude. Well, I don't even say that poor dog. I want to be that dog. Let me be like that.
Hey, I don't think I've been that high since high school, for crying out loud. That's high school high right there, dog.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's one of those you're sitting in class like,
what the fuck is going on? Is somebody talking right now? Oh, shit.
When the head went back. I was like,
I just couldn't hold it. Oh shit, that one was great.
Awesome, dude, I love that.
Ooh,
that
I saw that one scrolling through
he
the
was
old.
very worried. I would have been laughing at that dog.
Oh man, you know what's been coming in my algo for some reason lately? Maybe it's telling me I need a dog, but I got all the action I need in Matilda. I tell you what, I've been having a lot of dog compilations coming. You know, those ones, there's just a bunch of funny dogs doing crazy, stupid, funny, or whatever shit. I've been having a lot of those. Maybe I bring one of them to the show because there's been some pretty good ones here lately. However, there's your trash edible. Shout out to Jinxie. We hope you're still doing okay. I think that was an older video. That was like circa, I think that came out like the
It looked like it
2012,
was recorded on a flip
2014.
phone.
Yeah, like it was old school. That's been around for a long time. I ain't seen that video for a hot minute. So there you have it, my friends. Your morning laugh, little trash edibles featuring Jinxie. One time for the one time. But my friends, we're 15 minutes past the top of the hour here live in prime time on episode 614 of Forge and Fuel. And it's time to get into it. It's time to get this proverbial showboat surfing through the waves of change as we get into your first segment of the day. You know the vibes. The Sharpening Session, baby. Alrighty then, my friends, back live on episode 614 for your first segment of the day, your Sharpening Session, baby. And your opening topic, if you did not read the title of the show, let me be the first to get you in the know. Whew, I'm a poet, now you really know it. We're going to be talking about this morning, what are you feeding yourself? What are you feeding yourself? And this morning, my friends, oh, wow, a little cream crisp, some barbells. Wow, look at that sucker right there. One time for the one time. Well, this morning, I figured that's where most people would go. What am I feeding myself? What is this, a nutritional show? What the hell do I don't need to know about calories and proteins and fats and my macros and my micros? What do they say? Micros are how you feel, macros are how you look, and trend makes you big as fuck. I mean, what? Who's to say, who's to know? However, it's not just about food this morning, my friends. No, we're not just only talking about food, but that is a great place to start. What are you feeding yourself? What are the things that you're putting into your body? If somebody said, what are you feeding yourself? Would you be like Swirl One right there and grab up a protein bar filled with goodness and raw, real, good food? Or would you pick up a Hershey's bar? Would you pick up a Snickers? You're not you when you're hungry. Get a Snickers. Why do you think they have commercials like that? Why do you think they have left Twix or right Twix? What's better, the right Twix or the left Twix? That's what they want you to eat. They want you to have more sugar, more glucose, more fat buildup in your body so you are slower and dumber and more easily controlled. When you're in the heat of the day and inevitably you get to the point where you got to eat, right? You just been rocking and rolling all day long. What do? Do you hop in the car and go slide through the McDonald's drive-thru? Or do you already got your meal prep rocked and rolling? You got your ground beef or your steak or your rice or your chicken or your broccoli or whatever it is that you prepped on Sunday so you can just roll right over to the refrigerator, open it up, grab it out, get out your portions, heat it up in a microwave, and back to work you go. And you feel 100 times better when you do the latter. But I don't just want to talk about food this morning because I'm sure we'll get into that a little bit and we'll go eat here, there, and everywhere. And who's to say, who's to know what direction this all goes. But I just wanted to touch on a few areas of how we feed ourselves mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, all those good things, right? Diamond Hand Media Group, mental, physical, financial growth. And I wanted to focus in on a couple of areas. And the first area is music. And it's so funny, my friends, that from country music to rap music to anything in between, they all are designed to keep you in some form of thought track. Rap is designed to keep you in this angry, pissed off, ready to load up a gun and pop one in a motherfucker, or smoke a little dope or drink a little lean and then go do it again. Country, you're just all upset. Here I go again. I'm missing my sweetheart. And I don't know. You know what happens when you play a country song backwards? Your horse comes home. Your sweetheart that left you comes back. All your kids love you again. And you got your land that went up for sale back in your own property. So, my friends, every single little bit of music out there, especially if it is under the umbrella of a music company, of one of these massive moguls, of one of these production companies that you know about, whatever one you want to name, if they are under that umbrella, that means that they are being controlled. That means that they are being told what they need to make. They are being told how they need to sound. They are being told the type of frequencies to put out into this world. I bet you didn't know that our music was changed from 440 hertz to 435 hertz back decades ago to keep us dumber. And you might not believe me on all of this. You might think I'm crazy. How do I have authority to talk about music? Well, because I research. And I got a clip this morning of Zena LaVey, the daughter of Anton LaVey, creator of the Church of Satan, both here to tell us about music this morning. Hit us with that, Deez.
Make music for a purpose. It's not just background music, or it's not just, fluffy, light stuff.
This is not elevator satanic music.
It's ritualistic music. It is music that by even the act of listening to it, you are participating in a satanic ritual.
By listening to, so if I put this on and listen to it, I'm participating. But you're a listener. I'm asking you, how does it make you feel?
It's very stirring. It's very emotionally charged. You can't listen to this music and say you don't feel something, because you do. I'm sure you would probably feel either hate or fear or rage or something.
Just want to rock. Body yada yada. It's in my brain. Do you know that? It's living rent free. I can't get it out. You did that.
Yeah, it's hypnosis.
They have to tell you what they're doing before they actually do it. And maybe if you are depressed and anxious, life is so bad. Maybe you should go check your playlist, and if 3/4 of it is Juice WRLD, maybe you should delete all of that and try and listen to some shit that's actually powerful, like Russ, where he talks about going through the ups and the downs. Why do you think Russ is my favorite artist? I don't even call him a rapper. He's an artist, because he is a lyricist to here or there and everywhere, and he spits true, real facts about life, about what's happening. Same with, you hear Swirl talk about G. Yamazawa or some of the Wrecking Crew and stuff that, like, the lyrics that some of these guys talk about are what give us power, what give us thoughts, bring us different perspectives that we then bring and share on this show. I mean, how many times have you heard me say, never throwing in the towel, I use it to wipe the sweat off, get back in the ring and knock your head off? That's a Russ lyric. Having the faith to only to pursue a vision that only you can see, that only you believe. So watch your tone, you're not even you enough to fuck with me. That's a Russ lyric. G. Yamazawa, real kings don't really need to rule nobody. A word without love don't move nobody. These are the type of things that I want going into my brain. These are the type of songs and music that I want entering into my body. And if I run out of those songs, it's the house music. That's why I've fallen in love with house music. I've realized how much it makes you feel and taps into the innermost being of you. Obviously, I could talk about music all day long, and I'm sure I'm tripping some triggers over there in our very own DJ Swirl One. So what about books? Better yet, are you even reading? Are you even picking up a book and getting better? Are you scrolling through, or even at the bare minimum, while you're busy during the day, are you going onto YouTube and pulling up a book, pulling up something old? Do you realize that you can go onto YouTube and find an audiobook for any book that you want in this world? If it's like 2 years or newer, might be a little harder, but a decade past, which there is quality on quality on quality, a decade past, you can find an audiobook on YouTube anywhere. You don't need Audible. You don't need something else. You don't need this. You don't need to go buy the book on Amazon. You can literally spend a couple of hours while you'd be watching some Caller Daddy podcast and actually listen to a quality book like Think and Grow Rich, and then have the secrets to this thing called life. Maybe we talk about Napoleon Hill a little later. What about social media? We talked about it yesterday. What are your algorithms? Where are your algos at? If you pulled up your search page on Instagram, what would show up? Could you show that to your mother and your grandmother? Could you show that live to an audience of 200 plus people? Would you be okay with that? When you go onto social media, are you just feeding yourself the typical average bullshit? Watching the blue screen. I wonder why everything has blue screens. Maybe we'll talk about that on Decoding the Divide. And just consistently buying into whatever page is posting this or that or the third. You realize all these big people have made it just because they create division, because they create bullshit. I ruffled a little feathers yesterday, just a little something, a little hi, you doing? That wasn't creating division. unfortunately, people decided to take it whatever direction they want to take it. But I was just, raising some truths. But what are you taking in? And what are your algorithms over there on social media? When you open it up, you get, wave through the bullshit again. But you open up and say, damn, I know there's some good shit coming my way right here. What about your relationships? Both personal friendships and those sensual, more loving relationships. Are they feeding you? Are they helping you grow? Are they challenging you to become the best version of you? Correct the little areas where maybe you hadn't done the best before you got into that relationship? Or are they just keeping you the same? Just keeping you in the exact same spot, that cage of acquaintances or circle of friends? Somebody who wants you to remain the same, or somebody who wants you to see the best version of you? Who are you surrounding yourself with? Who is feeding you in your corner? And I'll leave you with this. In the book, Chop Wood, Carry Water, Joshua Medcalf has a quote that I've taken with me since I read the book, and I almost say it to myself every day. The real things that matter are what you watch, what you read, what you listen to, who you surround yourself with, and what you visualize. And it is so damn true. Are you watching things like Forge and Fuel? Are you watching things like the JRE and the Lex Friedman podcast and Bedros Killian and Chris Williamson, Modern Wisdom, these things that we put these people on the screen in hopes that after you get done here, you will go and hopefully find out what they do too and gain more knowledge and not just say, oh, well, I learned all there is to know. See you later. We go watch these too. What you read, the books you pick up, are you reading? The music, what you listen to, the people, the podcast, who you surround yourself with, Swirl One, Easy, the Diamond Hand fam, what you visualize. Are you just visualizing your problems? Are you visualizing the opportunity? Are you visualizing the best version of you? You visualizing where you want to be, or you just visualizing, oh no, if I can't pay this bill. Oh no, if I can't get here. Oh no, this thing's in my path. Oh shit. Oh. Head about to pop off your body. What are you visualizing? And if you're visualizing scarcity and obstacle, it's all you're going to see. But if you're visualizing abundance and opportunity, then so too, that's all you will see. What do you think about that this morning, Swirl One?
Bro, I love it. And I'll tell you, I talk about this all the time, and it's one of the things that I have gotten rid of all hip-hop music in the past. I don't listen to it anymore. I always say I don't even play hip-hop music when I DJ. I think it's low vibration. I don't like the words that it says. I'm just saying, and as a man that tries to be pretty much the light everywhere I go, the last thing I need to do is to throw this kind of music and energy into the world and ask everybody to celebrate it. That's a crazy thought to me. Like, what are we doing? So, you talk about music and I'm going to skip past the whole meal prep and all that, because I had a lot on that, but there's a couple other things you put in here. One of the things that I do when I'm working, and my house cleaner says it all the time when she comes over. And I know because I had a survey from them one time, and they said, hey, you're the guy that's over on this street. I'm like, yeah, I've been to your house. I'm like, oh, okay. You're the guy that always plays that nice, calming, lo-fi music during the day. And I'm like, that's me. I'm like, how do you? He's like, you're the only one that does. He goes, every time I go in your house, you've got this real nice, calming, lo-fi music, and it just kind of keeps me moving. He goes, there's no words to it or anything. I said, yeah, that's right. There's not any words. I said, I put that on while I'm working because it keeps my rhythm. It keeps me moving. It doesn't take my attention like the shirt, right? Like we talked about earlier. It doesn't take my attention from what I'm doing. And I'm not trying to formulate words or hear what they're saying. All I'm doing is just listening to rhythms, and the rhythms are very much like video game rhythms. They keep me moving forward, right? And so one of the things that I always think about when you're talking about music is that it is built and made, and trust when I tell you, to evoke emotion. So if you are listening to Lamb of God, right, it's going to evoke a certain emotion. And a lot of times that's Fred. You're going to, and there's times for that. Sometimes it's okay to do that. However, when you listen to somebody like Frank Sinatra, you can't feel the same way that you do when you listen to Lamb of God. It just doesn't even happen. It's not even possible, right? Because of the way that he articulates his words, the way that the rhythms come out is completely different. And you talked about having people on your playlist. You know, who are you listening to? We talked about G. Yamazawa. The reason why I like G. Yamazawa, and I'll tell you, I picked up on G. Yamazawa before he was even a rapper. I was picking up on him when he was spoken word. So I used to watch him as he was doing speaking and doing poems. And I thought, man, this guy should rhyme. He should literally start. I literally said he should start rapping. And then he started rapping. It was an amazing thing to watch this guy. And he's not big because of what he's saying. It doesn't fit the mainstream. He doesn't have a deal, and he doesn't have people saying, hey, keep dumbing down people so we'll release your music. He releases his music on his terms through the people he knows, and that's why his music has powerful words in it, big words, very intellectual things that he speaks about, right? And that's what I want to listen to, because I listen to him, I learn new words. When I watch anything he does, I always have the subtitles on, because you'd be surprised how smart the man is and how he can articulate things in the English language that a lot of us would never be able to put together. Above and beyond that, you know, you talk about Russ bringing some great stuff. You know, I also listen to Tom McDonald, and Tom McDonald is a great rapper right now that is self-produced. He makes his own beats. He makes his own rhythms. His girlfriend and him create all of their own tracks, and they make their own videos, and they send it all out on their own. This guy has had literally probably 40 #1 Billboard hits, and nobody's telling him what to play. But you know what's interesting? All of his music is literally what we talk about. It's about waking people up. It's about getting people into the know on what's going on in the world. And that's why they won't sign him. And I pulled him up just so I could see right off the top. You know, #1 song, The System. What do you think that's about? Yeah, I bet you can take a couple of guesses.
How to take blue pills?
Yeah, it's definitely not blue pills. How about You Missed, right? People So Stupid. You know, these are, if you start going through some of his music and you start listening, he's telling you how to break out of the system, very much like what we're doing here. There is a time and place for most music, but the problem is, we talk about rap and hip hop. They do play the 30, 40 songs every single day, all the time, on repeat. And they get people hooked on it to where, just like when you saw in that video, they're thinking, rob people, do this, do that, like all these stupid things, take lean, like all the different things. It does nothing for society. It doesn't help you. Mama Capp talked about the song that starts the show. Anytime I make music to evoke positive emotions. I make music to bring out positive energy and light. So when I made that song that starts this whole entire show, I made it trying to bring positive energy to the world. And that's what you got out of it. Now, there's not any real vocals or anything of that, because I'm not trying to sway people's opinion. All I'm trying to do is get them feeling at a higher vibration. So I didn't put any 808s in that track, right? There's none of that. There's a lot of very bright sounds inside that track, and that's what's creating the win for me on that. And that's how I make everything, right? You also talk about reading, and I was looking at, you know, as you were talking about reading, I said, well, let me do a little experiment here. And I pulled up my Audible, and Audible in here, I have got books on books, as you guys can see, just books, right? So my last 5 books, you know, is How to Be a 3% Man, What It Takes, What It Takes, Do Hard Things, The Death of Expertise, Mastering Yourself, Win in the Dark, right? These are all things that I've been reading. I suggested a book to somebody the other day, and they were like, wow, you always read. Yes, I do. If I'm going to have time, I'm going to use that time to make me better. I don't care how it is, whether I'm watching a YouTube video, it's going to make my production better. If it's something that's going to create better knowledge for me so I can go out and have a better conversation with somebody that's maybe a client of mine, maybe it's a friend of mine, I'm feeding myself those things, because I promise you this, every time I feed myself something negative, my body just goes, yeah, I love that. Give me some more of that. And that's why what Capp said, when you're on the timeline and you're creating that divide, you start to literally muddy those waters. People get all excited, shake up that can. Of course they're going to get excited. That's why they get the likes and everything, because you know what? They're trying to evoke emotion. Sometimes you have to understand they are pulling your strings and you're letting them. So as you're out there, hey, be like Pinocchio, be a real boy, cut them suckers, man. I'm telling you, that's what we got to do in this world.
Yes, sirree. Ooh, who's to say, who's to know? Doggone, man. So many good things. I tell you what, first thing I was thinking about, you talking about Russ, and one of my favorite songs he's got right now is The Wind. And it's a little, not older, but it's from Santiago, when he dropped the Santiago album. And he says, proved it to you, and I proved it to me. Yeah, I came a long way, yes, indeed. This isn't luck, this is pure perseverance. I came a long way, yes, indeed. I had my doubts, I'm ashamed to admit, but I realize now I'm the one. My faith was tested, but I invested in myself. Watch me become. How can you not get the fuck hyped up listening to that? How can you not just get? I mean, how can you not get fired up to make a change, to make a move, to get when you hear these right things, but also when, like you said, you're listening to Frederdette or whatever your music of choice is. Think about that. The next time you got that music on, think about your emotions. Think about where you're at. Think about how you're feeling and moving and what's going on in life. And man, Swirl One, I'm telling you what, dude, like there are so many things we are going to hear in the second segment of the day that are just literally going to mesh all of this together, man. Like I am telling you right now, we have some fire flame clips that literally you said 4 or 5 things, and I'm like, oh, I want no, we got to save that for the reaction refinery, because literally these guys are talking about the shit we are talking about today. We got some really good ones, but you know, I liked what also you said about the video game rhythms. Are you stuck in a rut of playing the same level over and over and over again? Maybe it's because you're feeding yourself with the wrong shit. Maybe it's because you're listening to the wrong music. You're reading the wrong books. I mean, if I stand up and I look right now, I can walk over. You know what? Fuck it. 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back. I'll walk over and grab my books. Hold on. Look, I'm not lying to you. I ain't lying to you. Hey, this is called live show, baby. This is called a live show. See? Boom, motherfucker. What you know about that? This is called a live show. And like Swirly D's got his Audible E, I like a good old paperback or a little firm book. I got the way.
You know how heavy that is to put in your bag as you're traveling.
Yeah,
though.
sure it is. I don't do as much travel. I got the power of influence. Oh, we might hear from John Maxwell a little later on. I got the 177 mental toughness secrets of the world class. I got first things first. I got beyond willpower. We got some Dale Carnegie's. We got some living. You chicken suckers ain't even seen these before. You don't even know what these are. We're talking about the Dale Carnegie School of Success. Oh, you don't even know what this is. You can't even get your hands on these no more. Oh, I'm telling you what. And one of the books right there, one of these little things. Look at this. That's all this is. This is nothing. Absolutely nothing. One of these books, Speak More Effectively by Dale Carnegie, changed the way I communicate. Stop my bullshit. One little book, one little nothing changed my entire way I communicate, the way I view people, the way I interact in this world. And it can be that simple. It can change your entire life if you just start feeding yourself with the right things. And that just goes into the social media and just everything you got going on. What are you putting into your life? And I just really hope that we're tripping some triggers out there and people are sitting back thinking about, damn, yeah, that song does really get me in it. Man, why do I play that song every time I'm sad? Oh, fuck, because it makes me sadder. Gets me in depressed. You know, I think about when I first met DZ, right? When I first met the chicken sucker, we didn't even really know each other yet, right? And we were talking, I think we were talking on the phone, and he was talking about how he was kind of feeling depressed and whatever and yada, yada. And he started playing some depressing music. And he just got into this depressing and was just like listening and just feeling all depressed and shit. And then he slapped himself in the back of the head and he was like, oh shit, I know who I hang out with. I'm with Capp and Swirl and all these guys. I can't be doing this. What am I doing listening to this music? And now fast forward 2 years later, I haven't heard him say that shit at all. He used to be a guy that would be in his fields and go hit a little Juice WRLD, go hit a little, I can't even think of that white rapper that died with all the fucking Lil Peep. He'd go and fucking listen to Lil Peep. He was a Lil Peep guy. He was a Lil Peep guy, bro. I
understood that, dude. I could not.
No way. That's terrible.
Couldn't do any of that.
No vibe, depression, feel like shit. No way. I'm telling you, these things work. If you need an example, just look at DEEZYY and all these little things. He started feeding himself with different shit and started believing in himself and started looking at all these little areas, and you can too, And both me and Swirl did as well. We weren't fucking perfect. We still aren't perfect. We still haven't figured all this shit out. We still have to go, wait a minute, Bobby, you a little too much video games. Woo-hoo. I told the guys this morning, I came into the green room and I was singing some song and I said, fuck, that's stuck in my head. They're like, what are you feeding yourself, Cap? What have you been listening to? And I was like, hey, relax, chicken sucker. It's just a popular song on Reels right now. That's it. But it's interesting, right? You can scroll through and then all of a sudden this song gets stuck in your head, right? And oh man, wow. It's just crazy how all of this stuff stacks on top of itself. And it's as if the system is designed for you not to know any of it and for you to stay in a low vibration with a weak mind and a short life.
It's true. And you know what's funny that I called you out on that? I was having fun with you, but at the same time, I'm like, you put yourself in the position to take that in, and now it's stuck on your head. What are you feeding yourself? It's a literal question. I wasn't trying to, hey, by the way, and try to make fun, but it was like literally like, hey, how did you find that song? What happened that you ended up getting it in your head like that? Like there's things that happen when I'm scrolling through the timeline and I might see something I don't like or don't want to ingest, right? I immediately scroll right past it, but my brain immediately goes, oh, well, you saw the image. And it just keeps flashing it in there. It just keeps flashing. You know what I do? Immediately do something productive. I immediately go and get up and do something productive because it gets my mind off the thing that I'm trying to get away from. And it could be a lot of different things. It could be something that triggers me. It could be something I don't believe in. It could be something that is against all my morals. It could be anything. But the point is this. I see it. My brain loves it. It loves that negativity and it just takes it in. And I have to find a way to rewire my brain in that moment to give it something else to do, something else to concentrate on. So it doesn't keep going back to that moment and keep playing that same song in my head over and over again. So what does that mean? It doesn't matter. I get up and I'll tell myself I'm not lazy. If I have to grab some weights, I'll grab some weights. If that means I'm going to do the dishes, I'm going to do the dishes. If that means I need to go and I don't know, laundry, whatever. I'm going to look around for something I know I need to do, and I'm going to do that thing. I'm going to be productive because I promise when your brain's productive, it doesn't have time to think about negativity. All it's trying to do is create. All it's trying to do is create solutions. Every single time you turn around, you're looking at the screens. Your negativity is what's actually bringing in all that energy. When you turn that off and you start doing things, and you start creating with your hands, and you start moving around, you get that whole circulation going. I guarantee you this, that thought, that song, it'll go away. I promise you it will. And here's the other thing. If you want a song to go away, hey, throw on one of the mixes that I got out there. Throw on something like that. Because I promise you, there'll be so much going on. You won't have time to just get caught up in one thing. And it'll bring you energy as you're doing so. And it's funny, I find myself doing all kinds of stuff when I put on high vibration music or high tempo music or something of that nature. And to me, it also works when I go on my walks. I'm listening to my books. I don't listen to music on my walks anymore. I listen to books because the whole time I'm out there, I can't think about my timing and what I'm doing because I'm just involved in this. I just don't realize how far I'm walking or what I'm doing. When I get back, I feel so good mentally and physically because I just worked out my entire being for 45 minutes, for an hour, or for whatever that is. I promise you, when you do that, you won't have time to find negative things. You will only find great things that you can ask yourself. You'll find solutions to the problems that you're looking at. And at the end of the day, you'll be done with all of it and you'll feel so much better for it.
Little shameless plug for some DJ Swirl One mix right there.
I'm not afraid.
Don't find it over there on Mixcloud one time for the one time.
I shared that yesterday too. Every day I'm sharing this show. I'm sharing something. I'm sending links always.
Who's to say, who's to know? Swirl One's not a hoe. But my friends, one final thought for me. You know, you mentioned one of my favorite Ed Foreman topics. He talks about, you know, you're sitting on the couch and you're watching a horror movie and somebody get their head cut off and blood shooting everywhere. And I'm going to have nightmares. Oh, turn it off. It's the worst thing you could do. Because then all you're thinking about is that person getting their head chopped off of their body and the blood shooting everywhere. And oh my gosh, and what's going on in the Middle East and war and shit and oh fucking everything. And, You start losing your fucking mind. The best thing you can do is change the channel. Something rainbows, puppy dogs, and unicorns. Maybe a little something motivational, a little something that brings you value, a little something that helps you grow, something higher vibration. You don't stay in the low vibration, turn it off, and then magically it goes away. You're already in the low vibration. You have to adjust and get yourself back to the high vibration because you fucked up and put yourself down there. It's as simple as that. It's one of my favorite things Ed Foreman talks about. And I'll have to bring a clip of it sometime because he goes down, the only way Ed can, man. But change the channel. Don't just shut it off. Change the channel. Feed yourself something else if you accidentally messed up and fed yourself something low vibration. Who's to say? Who's to know? Any other thoughts over there, Swirl One, before we get into the second segment
I love
of the day?
it, man. I think you have to feed yourself great things. That's why last night, instead of when they took me to that bar, I was supposed to, because I had a dinner meeting last night, and I thought I was going someplace really nice. Went to this bar and grill. When I say it was bar food times 10, it was. And I looked at that entire menu, and I was like, there's only one thing I can eat on this, and it was a taco salad. So you better. Hey, it was the only thing there was. Everything else was greasy, fried, bad. So I'm just saying, careful what you feed yourself.
Careful what you feed yourself, man. That was a rough menu if the best thing on it was some greasy old taco salad.
It was tough. I'm not gonna lie to you, it was really bad. And everybody was drinking. I'm not drinking, so it was, yeah.
All right, Swirl One, way to go, buddy. Hey, let's say a little standing applause for you right there. Hey, I'll stand up for you one time. Hey, that's big.
I almost felt the temptation. Just said, "Screw it, give me the greasy burger." But it would have hurt me. It would have been a lot.
Just to say, who's to know? You might have woke up not feeling so hot this morning. You've been really taking care of that old body of yours. Who's to say?
Oh yeah.
Well, my friends, there is your sharpening session. What are you feeding yourself? We hope we were tripping some triggers in you. Hope you started thinking, ooh, yeah, maybe I need to fix that. Ooh, yeah, you know what? I could get a little higher vibration over there. That was just the main premise, main point. Hopefully you got to thinking. Maybe you're throwing some books out. Maybe you're bringing some books in. Maybe you're deleting some of those playlists. Maybe you're making some new ones. Maybe you're finding some new relationships. Maybe you're making your algos better on social media. I don't know. As long as we trip some triggers, as long as you're feeling good, as long as you're feeding yourself the right shit, then we did our job. But my friends, we have plenty more to do this morning. We have a few more segments today. The next one up is where we watch a few clips. We do a little reacting, sharing of insights, baby. So hang out, relax, don't go nowhere. Maybe hit a like, hit a repost, let somebody know that's just waking up right now. Say, oh, what are you doing, man? Oh, hey, I'm tuned into Forging Fuel right now. Send it over to him. Say, you're late, chicken sucker. You better wake up one time for the one time as we get into your second segment of the day. It's the Reaction Refinery. Alrighty, my friends, back on episode 614 for your Reaction Refinery on this beautiful Tuesday morning, November the 19th, 2024. Man, this year is flying by. Jeepers creepers.
Oh, next week, Thanksgiving.
It's Thanksgiving.
Next week is Thanksgiving.
It's Thanksgiving this week for me. Me and my family always do it a week early, and then everybody can kind of do whatever they want the week of Thanksgiving. So, dude, I'm already there. I'm already there, bro. The month is already over for me. So I'm already living in the future compared to everybody else right now. Dude, woo! Who's to say, who's to know? Hope you've been checking those boxes, kids. But we got some good clips this morning. Some clips that are going to build upon some things that we have said. The first clip is going to tie right into some stuff that Swirl One was saying not even 5-10 minutes ago. So he's probably going to light up on the screen as he usually does. Then we're going to talk a little bit about Napoleon Hill and I referenced him. Who's to say, who's to know? A nice little reel, where they put some graphics together, some words on the screen, nice and pretty. And then we're going to say hello to a man that I mentioned here on one of these books. So without further ado, we say hello to a man who ranks rather high on many people's actor list. He starred in films like Remember the Titans. Shit, I'm blanking right now because I'm live on the
oh my God. Okay.
Really long time. Man on Fire. That's what I was thinking.
Well, that was good. That was a good movie.
Banger fucking movie.
That was a good movie.
The Book of Eli. One of my favorites of all time. And I don't need to fucking keep going down the rabbit hole because if you don't know, you won't know. It's Denzel Washington. And he's here this morning to tell us how easy it is to become addicted.
A half an hour every morning in quiet time. Don't go because what you're reacting to is chaos. You can get addicted to peace, and you can also get addicted to chaos. Put the devices down. Make sure you treat people kindly. It's hard. Someone cuts you off in the car. There you go, Denzel. 2 minutes ago you said to be peaceful, and now you're like, so we're human. We're human. Practice it. Anything you practice, you get good at, positively or negatively.
Come on, man. How easy is it to get? That's what I was thinking when you were talking. Addicted to peace or addicted to chaos? And what are you tapping into? What are you feeding yourself? And maybe that is just what tripped the trigger for you. And oh my gosh, I'm addicted to chaos. I'm addicted to toxicity. And holy shit. And it's okay. You're a humming bean. It's how the system was set up. It's all the shit we have pumping at us every day. It is chaos. But if you can choose to become addicted to your own peace, people will see that and they will do that themselves. And then maybe some things will start to change around you. Oh, Swirl One, I see you got some trigger shift over there.
Buddy, I love it because, we talk about the 4 or 5 things all the time. And that's really what he was reminding himself. Hey, remember, you're a sound mind and body. Hey, stop getting mad, right? Sometimes you got to remind yourself. Buddy, I do it all the time. Say, calm down, Swirl, take it easy. And I'll literally talk a third person to myself. I'm not afraid of giving myself a check off in the neck up and tell. Because, dude, if I don't do it, who else is going to do it? Nobody is, right? And he talks about that chaos. And I think the biggest thing, and I even put it on the timeline this morning, and I said, my entire life changed when I realized that preparation always beats planning. Planning is based around the expectation of order. Preparation is based on the expectation of chaos. Plan for order and you'll be destroyed by chaos. Prepare for chaos and you'll thrive in any condition. So what does that mean? If you handle the 4 or 5 things that you are trying to do every single day, you will always be prepared for any chaos that reaches you. And if you're not prepared, those are the wrong 4 or 5 things you're paying attention to. Let me tell you, because when things go bad, you either need to be able to lean on your mental to be able to get through it, your financial ability to push you through it, or your physical ability to endure it. And if you don't have those things, the relationships and everything else going on, I promise you, this will make this life so much tougher for you. You will not have these wins. You will always think negative. Those things won't work. So you might think you're handling the 4 or 5 things, but maybe one of them isn't what you're supposed to be handling, right? So as you look at what he's saying there, remember, everybody thinks Denzel's a great actor, and he's a great dude. I can see that. I've seen him a lot of different ways. Smart guy. But even that guy's got to remind himself, check up from the neck up. Hey, don't get mad, Denzel. Just like hey, Swirl, calm down. And so, hey, Swirl, stop being judgmental. Don't worry about it. They weren't raised like you. You can't change their minds. So continue making your mind better and trust when I tell you, everybody else will see it.
Bingo. We're all humming beans, man. We all have a backstory. Shit ain't easy, but if you keep working at it, eventually it will become a little easier. It will ease into your life. The tapping into the peace, whatever you practice, positive or negative, that will come into your life. And that's why I say practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes permanent. And perfection is simply a state of mind. Whatever you do over and over again, there will find you.
Bruh.
That's it. A couple little Capp Swirl originals for
fire clips, man.
Dude, Deez has been rocking the game out there, bro. Hey, look. I gotta tell you how proud of this motherfucker I am, because all I gotta do is literally just say, hey, bro, I was thinking about this. I think this would be a cool idea. Could you explore it for me? And then he just does it. And then all of a sudden, 3 days later, he goes, oh, I tried this and I looked into this and I did this too. And what do you think about this? Who the fuck are you, bro? Why did you do what? All you're supposed to do is press some buttons. What
I like this because it shows what's happening in a quick form, and it's got a link so somebody go, well, I kind of like what they're saying. Let me dive in.
Method to the madness, Swirl One. We just had to put one out. We had to look at. We said, okay, let's try this. Let's do this, and then from here on out, I just close my eyes. The next thing you know, I open up the timeline. It's like, wow, that's exactly what I was thinking. Well, son of a bitch. Who's to say, who's to know? Shout out DEEZYY, the producer of this fine morning show. We get into your second clip of the day, my friends. Oof. Ooh. We are visited by a man who goes by the name of Kevin Trudeau. And he is here this morning to tell us the secrets of the secret societies.
Albert Einstein and Thomas Edison discovered, and they discovered, and people in the secret societies knew, that the brain is actually a transmitter and receiver of frequency. There's specific things you do with your mind so that you can transmit a frequency. And when you do, the whole universe moves heaven and earth to make it come into your existence. So if a person wants a new car, if they want a better job, whatever it is that they want to manifest, they can do it. They need to know how to use their brain and turn that frequency so that it actually comes into their life. You can virtually create whatever you want in your life. You can have, be, or do whatever you want. Yes, a group of people came to me and I got inducted into the organization called the Brotherhood. Hey, the Skull and Bones is at Yale. We know that's a secret society. The Freemasons are a secret society. The Bilderberg Group is a secret society. These are all not so secret anymore. What goes on inside them are still secret. But the fact is, when you're in, you actually learn how to, we call it manipulating energy. Another way to say it is you're taught how to use your brain and focus your frequency vibration to create in life what you want. You're virtually a magnet.
If you want to know the secrets to this life, understand it in terms of energy, frequency, and vibrations. Shout out Ken Buckler. I'm sure he just got half chubbed to me saying that. It's his favorite quote of all time. Who's to say, who's to know? And this, guys, we've literally taught you this. If you just open your ear holes, we teach it to you in layman's terms. You control your brain doesn't control you. The basic building block. Do the dishes, walk the dog. That is the basic of this shit right here. And vibrating on the frequency goes back to the ease of addiction. The clip we just watched. What are you addicted to? Where are you visualizing? What are you reading? What are you putting into your body? Are you living as that millionaire you intend to, or are you living as the person with $3 in your bank account? Are you standing tall as the millionaire they just haven't paid me yet? Or are you thinking, boy, oh boy, how am I going to pay this bill? Because I promise that is where you will find yourself. And all you are doing is putting pathways and barricades and barriers in front of the path that you are already destined to. Anything you can think about, whether it's a supercar or a house or a career or a relationship, it already exists out there in your possession. You just are not vibrating on the frequency high enough to attain it yet. So you have to start vibrating higher and remove the barricades of the anxiety, the worry, the fear, feeding yourself bullshit, listening to nonsense music, scrolling through social media. Why do you think they don't make Lambo commercials? Because people who buy Lambos don't do any of the things we've been talking about this morning. It all builds upon itself. And if you just simply listen, we literally give you the secret to manifest anything you want and not survive, but thrive in this thing called life. How about that, Swirl One?
Bro, I'm telling you, thoughts become things. I keep saying it. I'm not crazy. I'm telling you, I have manifested it myself. And I don't even call it manifesting. I don't like the word manifest. I hate that word. I don't like the way
it has become buzzy for sure.
Yeah, it's people that literally, oh, I'm just going to manifest. No bullshit. You know what you're doing? You're working your ass off for those things. That's what's happening. And your consistent action is creating a reaction in the other direction, giving you exactly what you were looking for. Here's the thing that I remember, and I remember saying it earlier this year, and I said it out loud. I am going to move by first quarter 2025. I fucking said it. I as loud as I could. And I said it on purpose. You know why? Because I wanted it to happen. Now, how that happened, I wasn't expecting how it happened. But here's the thing. I can't be afraid of what I asked for. When I'm the one that put it out into the world and this happens, guess what? Who am I to sit there and say this isn't right for me or this isn't the right way to go? Because I've been asking for this. And now the universe goes, hey, no problem. Shows me out there. You just moved. Thank you very much. Hey, thoughts become things. I was talking to somebody last night about this. And sometimes we hold ourselves back in what we do because we're scared of doing it. We don't want to take that leap. We see that. And this is what we see. We need, hey, give me a sign. Hey, can I get a sign, please? Am I going the right direction or whatever? Hey, here's the thing. The fact that you're even asking for the sign is the sign. Let me just say that. The fact that you realize you need a sign, that's the sign. That should be the blinking light. Hey, give me a sign. Oh, shit, I'm just now telling myself that's my signal. That's what I need to do. This is what I need to double down on. And when those things are weighing on you, let me tell you something. If you don't act on them, then you're getting in the way of what the universe is trying to push towards you. So you have to get out of the way. You have to get out of your own way, and you have to go ahead. Even a dead fish, go with the flow, right? Okay. Well, if you're not a dead fish, then guess what? Start surfing that flow. Figure out a way to get on top of that and start doing what you got to do to make what you think real, because it will be real. Ask Simply Soapology. Can you make something out of nowhere? Yes, you can. Absolutely. Talk to DZ. DZ is now over there doing professional training for people. This is something we were just talking about a year ago, right? Ask anybody. Hey, this show right here. Ask us. Was this here last year? Did we think about this? Hey, I'm just telling you, thoughts become things. Make sure your mind is on the right things so that you can go ahead and make what you want happen.
You know, fuck. This is tangible, right? This people can see this tangible. Oh, this show didn't exist this time last year. Oh, they got a little bit better. Okay, good for them. Cool. Yeehaw. You don't know the man I've become in the last year. You don't know the demons that I have fucking slayed in the last year. You don't know the motherfucking beast that I've put in a fucking rear naked choke and put to bed for the last fucking time. And that's why I talk the way I do. That's why I won't let anybody fucking tell me I shouldn't speak this way or take away from my peace, because it is how I have found my peace and how I have found me. And I don't give a damn what you think about me on a screen. I know me off of this screen. And I know that I am leaps and bounds, miles past Colton Soroka on November 19th of 2023. I can't wait. I can't ready to see where this guy's going to be on November 19th of 2025. And where that guy's going to be. And where the doofus sitting back there, he ain't a doofus. I love him to pieces. I got to give him a little shit. Old DEEZY is going to be sitting in November 19th of 2025. I can't wait to see this stuff, because I know what we're doing off of these shows. It's not just about clout and likes and reposts. This is just our medium of how we can get our messages that nobody else is saying. You are not hearing this shit on any other podcast, any other massive guy or gal that's made it. None of them are talking about it. We're saying it in our own way. We're bringing our own light to the world. And I'm telling you what, some of these things you're talking about, it just goes back to what I've said, or you've said. I've talked about it before. If you had a crystal ball, you wouldn't believe it. See, you ask for the product, and you just got to succumb to the process. Because I guarantee you, when you asked for one, I'm ready to move, you had some bright sunshine and sandy beaches in your mind. You knew exactly where your happy ass was going. Your daughter was going to be close. Life, you had everything figured out. And then,
bro, I was already sipping Mai Tais.
Oh, you already, it was in your hand. You could feel the sweat off the glass, for crying out loud.
I had to pinky up.
Oh, and then all of a sudden you heard the creator laughing. You say, yeah, you want to move? All right, try this. Try this. What do you think? You said you wanted it. We'll get the change that we want. We'll get the things that we want 100% of the time, never in the ways that we anticipate. What happens in that moment for you? Do you laugh back and say, okay, all right, don't know what you got for me, but I'm ready? You say, why do you always do this to me? Are you even there? Do you even care about me? Yes, he does. Because he wants to see the best version of you in those moments. He wants to see you become the best version of you. And if you keep fighting those moments, you never will. And if you keep fighting those moments, all you're doing is smacking him in the face, because he will walk you straight to the problem and then walk you straight through the problem. But you are sitting closer to the problem than you are sitting to him, which is why it seems so massive and he seems so small. If you switch the roles, maybe things would be a little bit different. And I tell you what, I just said that to myself this weekend. Man, I need a sign. Show me a sign. Give me a something. That is the sign. Wow, what if the sign is the sign? And every time that I think I'm off the wrong path, I'm on the right path, and I'm just questioning everything about myself, and I already know what's good for me. Holy shit. Wow. Think about that. And last thought on this, I heard a kid say, I asked God to take away my addiction. And he said, it's not mine to take away. Son, it's yours to give up. So he'll give you peace. He'll give you strength. He'll give you power. All the things, those are the things you should ask for. Not money, fame, freedom, cars, houses. Ask for the strength. Ask for the character. Ask to become the man I need to be in order to have the things that you have placed on my heart that I know I want to have. I promise you, those pathways will start to open up. It is not for him to take away. It is for you to give up. Whew. Who's to say, who's to know? Come on! We still got 2 more clips on the second segment of this fine morning show. And this one here, baby. Woo! I mentioned it yesterday. I was going to bring it to yesterday's show, but here we are. Here it is right now. This one is just a regular old reel. Nobody we got to shout out. And it is entitled, Spend Time with the Mad Ones.
With the mad ones. The ones who question. The ones who create. The ones with genius and insanity that both scares and delights. They're addicted to the impossible. They're seduced by risk. They're playing reality like a game that only they can play. The mad ones are the chosen ones. They push. They attract. They drag others towards their future. They crawl inside you, show you who you are and who you actually could be. In a mad world, the mad are the only sane ones left.
We're all mad here. Shout out to Cheshire Cat. I love that. That is one of my favorite characters of all time. Even when I was a kid, I understood that Cheshire Cat was trying to teach me something. I knew it. It was something about the smile, the way that he would disappear and come back. We're all mad here, you would say. And you know what's crazy? The more you think about Alice in Wonderland and what's going on, that is such a great way to look at life and understand that, hey, what was she feeding herself in there? Some made her bigger, some made her smaller, right? It's kind of what we're dealing with here. Also, some people would get on this show right here and think me and Cap are crazy. They would absolutely look at who are these guys and why would they say that? And what gives them the right? Nah. You know what it is? We're not afraid to turn on the damn camera. We're not afraid to get on here and absolutely just display ourselves to the world. I don't care what people think of me. Their opinion of me is none of my business, and nor do I care. The people that matter, they're going to pick up some nuggets. They're going to pick up some lessons and be able to take those with their lives. Everybody else out there, I don't care what they do. That's not my problem. They'll wake up when that time comes. Until then, they can think I'm crazy. I'm going to look at them the same way and think they're crazy, and we're all mad here.
We're all a little mad here. Tell you what, man, that one is just shit. That one is just so powerful. And it just spend time with the people who are bucking the system, questioning everything, wondering what direction can we go? The people, hey, what is saying there? And what have we said a million times? You hang around with us long enough, we're gonna fuck around and get you to believe in yourself again. and they crawl inside of you and get you to believe and think in a different way. No diddy, but how many times have people say, wow, I was going throughout my day and I heard Cap say this. Oh, I heard Swirl say this shit. Oh, I heard Deezy say this shit. Who's to say, who's to know? Maybe there's a method to the madness. And maybe every Wonderland has its own Alice. Shout out Mac Miller. Who's to say, who's to know? Fourth clip of the day, my friends, on this electric second segment of this fine morning program. Holy shit, it's been fire flame this morning, my friends. If you ain't got notes, if you ain't got a brain that's been growing, I don't know if you're alive this morning. Maybe you're ready to change. Maybe you're just tuning into the show and, gosh, I feel an urge to just shift and become better, and my mind is starting to think differently, and my muscles are starting to move in a new way, and why do I want to change? Well, here this morning, the legendary author, motivational speaker, entrepreneur, and man of many talents, the one and only John C. Maxwell, here to tell us this morning about the 4 times that people change.
Change when they hurt enough they have to, when they see enough they're inspired to, when they learn enough that they want to, and when they receive enough that they're able to. Those are the 4 times that people change. People change when they hurt enough they have to, when they see enough they're inspired to, when they learn enough that they want to, and when they receive enough that they're able to. Those are the 4 times that people change.
That's very true. Most people do change because, hey, they got a diagnosis, or because something went wrong, or because they got hit on the head by something. At that point, oh, maybe I ought to change my life. Oh, that was what made you do it? Was that right there? Some people will realize right off the bat, the fact that I'm learning all this will keep me from bumping my head. And hopefully they start putting that in the right context and start learning first before they just go out there and start jumping off cliffs, right? I love what he's saying right there, because it's exactly right. That's when people change, when they are forced to, or when they finally say, hey, I've got enough knowledge to make this happen. A lot of people don't like to jump in when they don't have the answer. They don't know where it's going, because that unknown is what keeps them from doing it. You have to understand, everything is unknown. You could fail tomorrow, but I promise you this, if you don't try, you are already failing.
When they hurt enough that they have to. You know, the walls are closing in, the shit hitting the fan. How many times have I talked about it? When one door closes, another door opens, but sometimes it's hell in the hallway. That walls are closing in. It's too small for you. Ah, shit, I gotta go. When they see enough that they're inspired to. Maybe Diamond Hand Media Group. When they see enough people creating change in their own life. They see enough people totally becoming a different version of them from event to event, from year to year, from networking meeting to networking meeting. When they learn enough that they're able to. Diamond Hand Media Group, Forge and Fuel, everything we do, you gain enough knowledge. Say, wait a minute, here I'm at the cliff's edge. I know how to jump and build the airplane on the way down. I know all this shit. Okay, wow, I guess I'm ready. Or when they receive enough that they're ready to. Maybe you've just been investing in yourself and in the markets and everything in these down times. And maybe here in the next few months, 24, 48, 36, who's to say, who's to know, you're going to really be able to make some moves and really be able to make some change, because you will finally received that capital that you've been working so hard for. Who's to say, who's to know? The 4 times people change. There you have it, my friends. Your 4 clips of the day. Shout out to the legendary Denzel Washington, Kevin Trudeau, a great reel by Who's to Say, Who's to Know, and John Maxwell joining us here on the Reaction Refinery. Shout out to each and every one of you beautiful human beings. Would love to have y'all on the show. Hey, if somebody wants to at them, and hey, come on, John Maxwell. I tell you what, I will tell you guys, I tried to get my favorite author of all time, Andy Andrews, on the show. And that chicken sucker is one busy son of a gun. I mean, he is booked out for like 6 months, a year almost. I mean, jeepers creepers. So if anybody's got the plug on Andy Andrews, hi, Andy. We'd love to have you on the show, man. It would be pretty doggone cool. Hey, tag Andy. Let him know we want him here. But, my friends, it's your second segment of the day. It's time to get into the third and final segment and get this fella over here on my opposite side out of here, because he's got a little bit of a hard out. So let's keep this proverbial show car drifting around the corners of change as we get into your answers from the Anvil. Alrighty then, my friends, your third and final segment of the day here on episode 614 of Forge and Fuel, baby. This is where we dive into the chat, see what those live audience members have been saying, what's been burning on the brain, melting on the heart, festering on the soul, what type of additional perspective we can stir up out there. DEEZYY, I think he's ready back there. What do we got, my guy? What are these beautiful humming beings saying out there live in prime time in the chat this morning? Uh-oh, here we go. The anticipation makes the heart grow fonder. Tico needs an edible today. He is zoomy AF.
That's a good one.
If you don't get the reference, that was from our morning laugh.
Earlier. That's pretty
Shout
good.
out, Jared. Like that full circle moment right there. Good stuff. Shout out, Jared Albright. Little, how you doing? Shout out, Nick. Appreciate you, brother. Great to see you live in prime time in the chat. Jared Albright, little perspective, man. He was dropping perspective left, right, and center. The subconscious mind is always listening. That's why you hear the same 50 songs on every store across America. The same songs. Who's to say, who's to know? That's why I like Jewel Osco. They got a little bit of a different something. Who's to say, who's to know? They be playing some 38 special. I'll be in them aisles just singing. People looking at me like, caught up in you, little girl, and I never disrespect a thing. I'm so caught up in you, little girl. And everybody's just looking at me like, what the fuck is wrong with him? And I'm like, bro, life's great. I'm living. Everything's so great. What's wrong with y'all? Who's to say, who's to know? Mama Capp, my one and only Mama Bear, aka Kim Jones. Can't tell you how much the opening song fires me up for the day. Shout out to Swirl One and a little coffee with light cream and sugar, baby. Who else we got out there? DWEZYY. One half of the Metal Crazies, Mr. Metal Crazy. A little research into everything. You will be amazed at it all. They have been doing everything for decades. A little plug, Gateway, last night, Red Pills and Rabbit Holes, I definitely dropped in a podcast that you need to watch. It might be the most important podcast of our lifetime right now. Features Dr. Jack Cruz on the Danny Jones podcast. Whoo! That's all I'm going to say. If you're in the Gateway, watch that podcast when you have time. Who's to say, who's to know? Shout out, Mr. Metal. We appreciate you. Jason Wigman says, can you post the unknown high vibing artist in the Gateway? I replied, we will do that going forward. If we see somebody, you listen to somebody, hey, whoever it is, it doesn't have to just be me and Swirl or Deezy. If you're listening to a song and it's like, yo, this is what I needed, drop it right there one time for the one time in the Gateway. Whether it's in the, put it in the MPNF growth hacks, mental, physical, financial growth hacks. Put it in there one time. We'll have everybody have access to it. Mama Cap says again, I was having trouble sleeping, so I implemented something new. I've been ending my day reading Emmett Fox's Sermon on the Mount. Been sleeping like a baby. Well, you will also know that I grab these books off of my end table or my nightstand where I read them right before I go to bed, so I am not staring at blue lights and pumping chaos into my noggin. Who's to say, who's to know? Might just change a thing or two for you. Shout out Mama Bear. Shout out Mr. Damascus Oglesby. Great man, great man. Thank you for your kind words, brother. I can't say thank you enough to the FNF crew, Capp Swirl and Deezy. Every day I watch an episode of FNF, you guys bring the hunger back in my life. Shout out to you, Jeff. We appreciate you, man. Hey, desired effect achieved. That's all we're trying to do, brother. Get you to move a thought, change a muscle in a positive direction. We're doing our job. Who's to say, who's to know? Appreciate you tuning in. G. Lou, my boy, really became a Super Saiyan in the past 3 years. Who's to say, who's to know? I feel like we're all out here becoming supers. I mean, look at you, G. Lou. I mean, shit, I'm pretty. Hey, we didn't get to see many videos. G. Lou, look, Mrs. G. Lou put out a video from the vacation. We didn't get to see much of Mr. Glue. I felt like that was kind of like on purpose. I was a little pissed off about it. I was like, hey, man, I want to see this shredded son of a bitch. What's going on here? Why are you hiding him from the people? We got just a bunch of quality humming beans turning into straight Super Saiyan soldiers out here, motherfucker. Shout out G-Lou. Mrs. Metal Crazy, the other half of the Metal Crazies. You've got to live life authentically. That's when you find your superpower. As a family, we are leveling up together. Doggone right. Shout out Mrs. Metal. JK Big Time, we all have to go with the flow initially. Then you learn how to regulate the flow. That's flow state in a nutshell. You go with the flow, then you know how to regulate the flow. Damn, JK. Jordan Peterson said it best. You see what you look at. Oh, yeah, boo. Shout out, JK. Great perspective, man. Hell yeah. Nick's Travel Vlogs, you are loved, worthy, amazing enough. Shout out, brother. Damn straight. Tell him one time. You better tell somebody.
Let him know.
Well, my friends, we appreciate you all tuning into the show. Shout out to each and every one of you beautiful humming beings live in prime time in the chat, giving us some more perspective, giving us some thoughts, helping us continue to go and flow all morning long. But my friends, we got to wrap up for the day. This guy over here has got a heart out, baby. Obviously, he's wearing his work clothes. He's got to go present. He's got to go do what it do. Who's to say? Who's to know? So, my friends, we check in with DJ Swirl One for the final time. Good sir, any final thoughts, perspectives, reminders, comments, anything in between for episode 614?
I am now in my first snow of the year.
Oof.
I see snow outside.
Oof.
I'm not looking forward to that, but I'm still going to shine bright, baby. Thank you so much for being here. Episode 614 of Forge and Fuel. I had a great time. Got some great notes. I've got some great soul food to take throughout this day, and I'm going to walk downstairs and just start shining right now because guess what? I got meetings after this, and then I got a lot of things to do today before I can get myself back to the HQ tomorrow. So, my friends, hey, send out a little note that says this was a great show. Maybe clip something up and add it to your timeline. I'll find it. I'll hit the repost on there just for you. So thank you so much for being here, Cap. I appreciate it, man. It's been a great morning. I'm going to get on out of here. I got to go do some stuff, man. It's just the way things are.
Hell yeah, dude. Appreciate you. Appreciate your perspectives, all your vibes, energy all morning long. I thought it was a hell of a show. Can't thank you enough, my guy. Have a terrific rest of your Tuesday because you, sir, deserve it. As for all of you beautiful humming beans tuning in live in prime time,
Thank you very
all
much. That's
also
really nice.
deserve
Thank you.
a beautiful rest of your Tuesday. So, my friends, I will remind you of a few things and then allow you to get on about it. First of all, we mentioned the gateway a couple times. If you're wanting to get involved with a network of high-quality humming beans, continue to grow yourself, your business, your brand, mentally, physically, financially, everything in between, well, join us in the gateway. Start your journey today. We give you 7 days free to check it all out and then get fully involved with us. Well, 7 days free, you're fully involved, but you're just not paying your dues. Who's to say, who's to know? So get involved with us. Start your journey today. Start leveling up and become a true super soldier, baby. Also, speaking of super soldiers, speaking of breaking out, speaking of the system, decoding the divide, not sure if we'll have it tomorrow or not. I'm going to be packing. I got a lot of shit rocking and rolling, leaving for the weekend. So keep your eyes peeled. I'll let you know for sure. The gateway, you will be the first ones to know if we will have it, and then I'll put it out on the timeline either or. But you can go back and watch some of those previous shows, and I'll be putting out some clips today. There's some pretty good clips that I made late last night, so I'll end up putting those out throughout the day and the week as that rolls on. Also, I have been working on some designs for Mine and Shine Apparel, some new designs for the winter collection, some designs for this show, some designs for our other show, some designs for DHMG, all types of good shit. Things people have been requesting, things people haven't been requesting, but they still will probably like when they see it in there. So keep your eyes peeled. As soon as we update you there, you'll be able to get all the new, latest, and greatest swag from the Diamond Hand merch store called Mine and Shine Apparel. If you don't know, you won't know. Also, all the pertinent links, whether to Mine and Shine, whether to the gateway, to our website, or anything else DHMG or something in between, you can find it in this episode's description. If you're listening to the show on your favorite podcast directory, you can also find it in the description there on your platform of choosing. And if you wouldn't mind, and if you haven't already, we certainly appreciate the hell out of you hitting a subscribe, leaving a notification, hitting a notification, leaving a like, hitting another like, hitting a heart, hitting a repost, leaving a quote post, leaving a comment, reposting some of the clips you see out there, all that good stuff, because it only allows us to continue to grow and flow. And ultimate goal here, we would like to take this full time. We would like to not have to hard out Swirl One at 8:25 and have to push them out quick, fast. And we would like to be able to do this full time and really start to create some waves in this world. So if you haven't subscribed, if you haven't hit a notification, you haven't told anybody about it, we humbly ask you that you would. Don't be a host, share the show, be a friend, tell a friend, let somebody know. It only helps us continue to grow. And you've seen us get better and better to this point. So can you imagine where it might be, where we may go, what type of flow we could catch? Just keep showing up every single day. And I promise you, we'll handle the rest. Hey, come on. The best is yet to come. One time for the one time. Can't thank you all enough for tuning in this morning, spending your most valuable asset with us here at Forge and Fuel, your time. We notice that. We recognize that, and we are forever grateful for that. We will continue to pay back that investment to you and give you that high-quality ROI by showing up each and every day on the consistent, persistent pursuit of our passions and being right by your side while you pursue yours, baby. But for now, my friends, it's time to wrap up, close up shop, flip the open sign to close, and go turn a few obstacles into opportunities, a few losses into lessons, and what we thought was going to be a failure, just a new doggone chance to flourish. That sounds good to you. Well, let's get right on after it, but not before we bid thee adieu and remind you that number one, even a 2-year-old can make an excuse.
What?
Number two, even a dead fish can go with the flow.
What?
And number three, being that this here show is a member of the Diamond Hand Media Group, I ask you keep in mind that DHMG, we don't only HOLD, we hold each other up. And right now is one hell of a time to flex those diamond hands. Shout out to each and every one of you flexing those diamond hands on a day in and day out, night in and night out basis. We appreciate you from the bottom of our heart. Thank you for being the change, setting the precedent that we want to see not only on YouTube, Rumble, or X, but in this entire wide world. Thank you for being the difference. Thank you for setting the precedent. Thank you for being the 1%. Thank you for being super soldiers. And for all of you OGs, the foundation of who we are, thank you for being the Diamond Hand fam. We'll catch y'all on the flip side. No shows, no spaces, no nothing going on tonight, but we might see you in another space or another show after this that's not related to DHMG. Maybe we see you in a Discord or a VC. Maybe a DM group chat or hell, even the gateway, baby. Wherever we see you, we look forward to it. But for now, my friends, we ask that you remember that you are kind, you are smart, you are important, and you are loved. And as always, peace and love.